So here we are again in collective access, and we are going to be cataloging another item. The item this time for exercise purposes is going to be this image we see in front of us here. The sign that reads Special Collections Library is open. So we happen to know that this sign is placed outside of Strom Thurmond Institute, where the Special Collections is located here at Clemson University. So let's go back to our record in collective access and see if we can allocate the appropriate geographic metadata for this record. So here we've created our title and we're ready to move on. We're going to go over to the locations here, and let's try a couple different terms first. Nothing there. Nothing gets pulled up. Let's try the Strom Thurmond Institute, since that's a building on campus that might be on there. Nothing there either. Well, let's head over to GeoNames really quick. And here we are logged in, so that's good. And let's do that search just again to make sure we aren't missing anything. Nothing there. Let's try the Strom Thurmond Institute again. Not the Clemson Experimental Forest. We're getting closer, but that's definitely not it. So let's see if we can pull up a map of campus. Okay, so here we see a very familiar site of Clemson University, and let's zoom in and look at where the Strom Thurmond Institute is and see if there's any locations here entered. Interesting. So it looks like we have a pin for the Cooper Library and a lot of the buildings surrounding it, but not the Strom Thurmond Institute. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a pin here for the Strom Thurmond Institute. So there's there's two different ways that you can add pins to GeoNames. First of all, you must be signed in. You can hover over the location and right click and insert new name here. There's another way to do this, which I can show in another demonstration, but basically if you have the exact coordinates, you can add those for a location or zoom in on a map, you know exactly where you are, and you can right click and insert new name here. Okay, so we're going to do okay. And so here again we need to code what class and feature code will appear with this record. So we happen to know it falls under a spotter building, and the code here we could do library, but the Strom Thurmond Institute has some other tenants besides the Special Collections Library. So we're just going to add building because we're just talking about the building here of the Strom Thurmond Institute. And then we can click yes. So we can see that our item has been created and there is a pin for it. We also happen to know that the Special Collections Library is here as well. So we could actually add another pin right next to it saying actually we'll change the title here. Okay, and again we'll select our class, which is going to be a spot building or farm, so an actual structure, and here we have library. So let's see if there's anything else like an archive. No, I think library is going to be our best bet here. There we go. And then we can hit save. And then again, we see the new item that's been created here. So there's two that are right next to each other. And you know, if we wanted to go in and change these at any point in time, we could do that as well. So let's say someone didn't like the way I have created this title or any coding. Anybody with a GeoNames account could come in and edit the title to something more precise if they felt that way. So for our purposes, we're going to use the actual pin for the Clemson University Special Collections Library. And I would like to get, here's our exact URL to this one record. Let's go back into collective access now. So there's a lag between when we create a pin and when it can be pulled in collective access. So if I go ahead and search for this again, we're not going to see results yet for the pin that we just created. Generally, the rule of thumb is a couple-day lag. So in the meantime, what we can do is go into our cataloger info, and let's just leave this page, cancel. Okay. And now we're going to go over to our cataloger info, and we're going to create a note, which we can just add this URL, which will send out the red flag when we're reviewing these that a pin has been created, but there's not actually any data in the location tab. So click save, and then within a couple days we can come back to this record and actually add this pin to that record.